brain. Welcome into his frequency. Enter at your own risk. Come be at peace with me. Ask the Paul, where we rise and don't fall.
Welcome back to another episode of Baxter's Buzz. I am your host, Baxter E. Hall. Welcome to my brain. Welcome to my frequency. Enter at your own risk. Today, I have a special guest with me. She is the Vice President of Leadership Development at Inforum. Also, wife, mom, an Army veteran. Lorrena Black, welcome to Baxter's Buzz. It's so good to have you.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me to come on.
Yeah. Long time coming, right?
Yeah, yeah, I think we've been working on it for a little bit now.
That's part of it though. It's intentionality. We were just kind of talking about that off air. So Inform. I was introduced to Inform a handful of years ago, did not realize the history, all of the amazing things that you all were doing from a program and resource
Yeah.
standpoint. Talk about Inform a bit and what y'all are doing over there.
Yeah. When you said history, one of the things that I find just, I don't know, I think it's really cool. We just celebrated our 61st year. So back in 1962, the Detroit Economic Club wouldn't let women in. So I think 23 women got together and were like, enough of this. And they created, what is now Inform today. And we're over 5,000 members. So we started with that 23 and now we have over 5,000 members. And it's just an amazing organization that's all about, accelerating women in their careers. Like, how do we help, close the gap that we're still seeing, out there as far as like leadership roles and positions, and how do we, further develop women? And so my job at Inform is all of our leadership development programs. So we have programs for women, I'll even say individuals, because some of our programs are open to all genders. Just for every career stage, like, what are those challenges that at each stage of your career you're facing, and where can we help develop you further and help you excel?
Nice. So what sort of things in your role, like you talk about these programs, talk a little bit more about the programs and like how do you meet these folks at different sort of times in their career?
So when I think about, those early in career emerging leaders, we have our Next Up program, and that's really catching individuals within the first 6 years. Sometimes it might not even be early in their career. Maybe they're in a new field or a new industry and they just need to hone in on a couple of skills. And we talk about your strengths. How do you lead from strengths versus weaknesses? What are some potential career derailers? How do you align your personal values with like the organization that you're working for their values? And how do you know, when is it okay to flex or not flex? Or when is maybe this not the right fit for me? We have our other program focuses on presence, like, our genuine leadership presence program. Like, how do I lead authentically? And what that looks like for me, how do I bring my whole self, lead authentically, tap into my power, all of that. Our executive leadership program focuses on women more in the, director, senior VP level. And that's really steeped in emotional intelligence, because we're finding that, the emotional intelligence is that differentiator between good managers and really great leaders. And so we do a lot around that. And one of our upcoming programs we have is Ascending to the C-Suite, and that's those women that are ready. They're ready to ascend. And we partner with University of Michigan, Ross School of Business, and they bring in faculty, and then we bring in real world executives, and we pair that together to just create a really awesome experience for women leaders as they're hoping to, make that transition into that next step.
Wow. So I want to talk about this whole self, this authentic self, bringing that that person, that whole person to work with you. How do you go about sort of communicating the importance of it, and then how do you temper your whole self with like still making sure that you maintain the level of professionalism?
Yeah, I think it starts with self-awareness. So again, a lot of stuff around emotional intelligence. You have to be, self-aware before you can really show up authentically. And you have to figure out, again, it goes back to that flexing. Like, if my authentic self like my true, fully authentic self isn't necessarily, my organization. Maybe they're not ready for it, or maybe I'm not ready to bring it all. You have to really know yourself. Like, how much am I willing to flex? Am I in a place where I'm bringing all of me, which is awesome, which is where, the hope is to be. But are you in a place where you realize maybe not all of me, I know I have to maybe tone some things down, I guess. I'm not sure if that's making sense, but it's really just, knowing yourself first, and then knowing what you're willing to, how you're willing to flex.
No, it makes complete sense because it's something that's not, it's more of art than a science, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where there are things that, so I'm Black, I am in the insurance industry, and as a consultant, broker, agent, whatever you want to call it, with Kapnick, um, there aren't a lot of Black people in these roles that, talking to, small and large organizations around employee benefits. And so, and I've been in a sales role for, 16, 17 years, and in the corporate settings, everywhere I've gone, there's been more white men. And I used to think that I had to do what the most successful people
Mm-hmm.
did, right? And so I was sort of listening to them and, on their cubes, and trying to take some of their spiel, and sort of add it to whatever I was doing, the calls I was making, the meetings that I was having. And for years, I think I really missed an opportunity. And so now what I've learned, Lorena, and so I'm asking you this selfishly because I think it's something that I still kind of struggle with. I'm definitely bringing more of myself, and that's what I've been missing myself this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't really start to have true success until I infused more of myself into these settings, right? And
Yeah.
it's not a lack of professionalism, it's not a lack of knowledge, but it's a flavor that you can't get off the shelves. You know what I mean? You have to special order this, and if I don't share that with people, then I'm not doing myself any favors.
No, you're right. So one of the we will share a video by Carla Harris, who I just love, and I wish that we could be friends in real life. But she is an amazing. I don't know if you're familiar with her, but she's like a managing partner, Morgan Stanley. Just that pearls of wisdom when she talks about, like, you have to bringing all of yourself, because sometimes when you don't, you might miss out on an opportunity because they might want that flavor that you're kind of
That's
keeping
right.
back. But you also talked about just being a Black man in kind of this corporate space. One of our participants for one of our programs, she's a Black woman, and she shared with me at one time just how exhausted she was, just feeling like she had to not be who she really was to kind of represent, all Black women, or even just something as simple as, the decision to wear your hair natural or not.
Sure.
Like, people don't think about how much that can impact. We had another woman that she is an Indian woman, and she wore kind of a traditional dress to one of our last sessions, and she shared that she normally wouldn't do that, because she has been, kind of just brought up to feel like that's not professional, and that's not what people, think of when you think of like a corporate professional. And it's just, how do we get to a place where we're more comfortable just being ourselves, and being able to, bring those things. But I really do think, Carla Harris is onto something when she talks about, bringing, she says, I bring all of Carla now. When I go, I'll bring the singer, I bring the this,
Yeah.
I bring all of it. And I mean, she's definitely onto something with that.
Well, and sometimes it's not black, white, or anything. It's sometimes it's just our quirks,
Mm-hmm.
that we're aware of. And I was talking to a friend yesterday, actually, and I said, you're a little goofy, but it's charming.
Yeah.
But if people don't experience that, and you're like, oh, I'm a little goofy, let me try to be cool,
Mm-hmm.
you're you're doing yourself an injustice, because people are gonna love all of you, but you just got to share it with them.
Yeah. But people can also see through you too. Like when you're not being like your authentic self, or you're not being authentic, people see that, and they don't want, people want real people with your quirks and your goofiness.
That's right, because they have theirs as well. We all
mhm.
do, and we can relate to someone more when we feel like we're seeing like more of their true self.
Yeah.
So oh, go ahead.
No, it's just another kind of a story of trying to be something that you're not. I remember during my brief stint, I shared with you, of financial advising, and I had to, go out and knock on doors, which was not pleasant. But my husband tried to give me, and I mean, he could sell, whatever that expression is, sell ice to ice. I don't know. But he was like, here's what you do. You go out, you knock on the door and say, can you help me out? I'm a veteran and I'm out here and I'm really trying to, and he just did it and it sounded wonderful. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to try it. It didn't translate the same for me because it wasn't coming from a
It
place
was.
of authenticity. It was not real. And I was just like, yes, I can't, that's not it doesn't work for me. So I've learned that I just have to be me.
Yeah, and yeah, that approach maybe would work, but maybe you need to add your own words to it, right?
Yeah.
Versus like, reading right from that script. But so back to informing, like all the programming and everything. Um, can you talk about your annual conference that you all just had?
Oh, yeah. So we just had our annual meeting where, again, we celebrated our 61st birthday, I guess. And it was a really great event. It was a luncheon. We had about 200 people in person, and then another, I think maybe 200 virtual, because that is actually one of the gifts that came out of the pandemic, is that we've expanded and we're doing a lot of things virtually, so we can catch, members and individuals outside of the state of Michigan. So it's really cool. But the in-person event itself was just amazing opportunity to bring people together to network. We had a panel discussion talking about the joy of change. And we had some just amazing women leaders and our CEO up there just, talking through, change and how you can make it more of a joyful experience. And then we also just shared our growth in our numbers, our reach and all of that. So it's something we do every year. It's one of our big signature events. We do a couple of them throughout the year, but that's a really great one.
That's awesome. And congratulations again, like 61 years. That's amazing. And you guys are still growing, right?
Yeah.
And expanding and all the different offerings. It's really cool to see and learn about. You mentioned being a veteran. Talk about, we don't have the time to talk about all your experiences in the military, but speak about how important it is to, bring awareness to the military veterans and all the work that you all have, done for this country. I mean, first of all, thank you for your service, and
Thank you.
and I know you do some speaking, and you attend, events and everything around sort of promoting and supporting other vets. Like, talk about the importance of that.
Yeah. No, first of all, I am like extremely proud. So thank you for, your thank you. I am very proud to be a veteran. I joined the Army a long time ago. I retired last year with 25 years. And it is important just to keep talking about veterans and what we contributed to in our military service, but also what we bring, outside of the military into corporate spaces. One other cool thing I'll say about Inform is we also have a program for women veterans. It's called Next for Vets, and it's a free program that takes, that all that talk around authenticity and power and all that, and then aligns it with, how do you take that with your military experience and really, propel your career out in the corporate and private world. But I do love talking about, again, just my service, because sometimes people well, not sometimes, oftentimes people have an image of what a veteran looks like. And that might be your traditional, maybe Vietnam era veteran or your World War II era veteran, which is, typically your older white male. And so it's just reminding people that, veterans look like me, veterans look like you, veterans, we come in all shapes, sizes, sexual orientation, gender identity, everything. And it's just trying to get people to understand that we are just all different. individuals, but we've all done the same thing. We've raised our hands and we've chosen to serve. And for me, it wasn't always a perfect and happy time, but overall, what I gained from it was just huge. It really did change my life, just from where I came from to where I am today.
Yeah, and the contributions of everyone that is considered an American citizen, right? And we do come in all of those different varieties, and you know, we all are, you know, have an opportunity to contribute to the military and to, you know, and all aspects of the country. So no, you're not the person that they think of when they think that, but you represent, and yeah, and that exposure is huge because you can help educate and inform folks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We know we could go all day. We will definitely make sure that we circle back and do this again, but thank you for your time. Lorrena is the Vice President of Leadership Development at Inforum. Just a pleasure to be around. Speaker, trainer, organizer, and an Army veteran. Thank you so much for joining Baxter's Buzz.
Thank you for having me. And this was fun.
Good. And so on behalf of Lorrena, I am Baxter E. For those that are listening or watching, I just want you all to know that you are more than capable. You just need to embrace your own frequency. And until next time, peace.
Welcome into his brain, welcome into his frequency. Enter at your own risk, come be at peace with me.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't already, please hit the like button, please subscribe, share, and also hit that notification button as well. Thank you so much.
Financial literacy to authentic Black history, this real rap.